Well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good
Hello.
evening. Good evening. Good evening. We're going to get right into tonight. So let me share my screen with you. Alrighty. Hopefully everyone received my two announcements / emails. Okay. So we see that tonight we're going to be actually starting our first official drafting exercise or assignment, which is going to be line types and scales. And you will need a sheet of 11 by 17 piece of vellum, as well as a circle template as we continue to complete the assignment, okay? As a reminder, all of the 4 lettering exercises are due at the beginning of this class tonight, okay? And as I'm always going to do, okay, I'm going to, I actually posted a recording of Wednesday's class, okay? Now, when I initially made that video, I made it private. Did anybody have an issue viewing the video when it was private?
Yes, I couldn't get to the video. Like if I clicked on the link, it would just pop up like a black screen on YouTube.
Okay, now.
It works now.
Yeah, because yes, I made it public. I made it public.
Right.
But okay, if I when I make it private by email invitation, what you have to do initially to view the video is to sign into your Google account. You have to sign it when it is private in order for you to view it. And I've invited you to view it by email. You have to sign into your Google account before you can view it, okay?
Right. Is that our DTCC email one? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that I was having a little bit of trouble logging in with that on like actual YouTube, so I'll definitely try to work it out a little bit better next time.
Okay, cool. But I'm kind of debating. They kind of want us to make the videos private, but in the past I've made them public. But if I make them public, I want to make sure that it's just me and not any of your faces. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah, you understand. Okay, so I might continue to make it public because it's easier for you and it's easier for me, but we'll see. All right. So now that brings us to tonight. Okay. Let us go to the table. Let's go to content here, right here. Okay, and let's go to course resources, right here. Okay, and let's scroll back up. Pardon me. And let's do a little review. Let us open up this lines, lettering, and letter types PDF. Let's open that up. Okay. Now, we are going to start every drawing using construction lines, okay? Construction lines. And that's where we're going to start tonight. I just want to reiterate that a construction line has a very light weight and value, and that we use our 2H leads for our construction lines. Okay? Good. So let me stop sharing this for a second. Okay, and I want to share my board with you now. Okay, so hopefully everyone can see my board. All right. Let me adjust it just a little bit to get it straighter. Good. All right, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to get out, well, here's what you're going to need for tonight's exercise. You're going to need the 11 by 17 piece of vellum, okay? Okay, I just cut that on the corner. I heat that up. Okay, so you're going to need a piece of vellum, okay? You're going to need your 0.7 millimeter mechanical pencil with 2H lead in it, okay? You're going to need that, so go ahead and get that out. You're going to need your architect scale, the scale that has the fractions on the end. You're going to need that, okay? I'll suggest that you get out your 30-60 triangle. You're going to need that, okay? And your brush, as well as your drafting tape, okay? So that's what you're going to need. I'll give you a moment to collect those. And of course, you're going to need your T-square and your drafting surface. Okay, so now once you have those items, okay, the first thing we're going to do after that, we're going to now align our vellum, a piece of vellum, to the leading edge of the, here's my T-square right here, right? Okay, so I'm taking my piece of vellum and I'm resting against the leading edge of my T-square, making sure that my T-square is tight against my my parallel surface over here. Okay, good. So making sure that's tight. Bring it in here. Okay. I'm going to take my drafting tape and I'm going to take the top two corners as I hold the vellum against the T-square. I'm going to take one corner, press it down pretty good. Okay. Then I'm going to take down the other corner.
I have a dumb question really quickly.
No question.
Are you putting down the sheet landscape or portrait?
Landscape. That's a good question.
Okay, awesome.
That was a great question. I know you can't see my entire board. That's why that was a good question. Okay, but yes, we're going to place it on our drafting surface that is in landscape orientation. Okay, good. So now I've taped the top So now I can move my T-square down, and I'm going to tape the bottom. And notice I'm not using a whole lot of tape, right here. I'm not using a whole lot of tape, right? And I'm kind of placing it in this diagonal position. Okay. Same thing over here on the other side. Good. So now I have my vellum aligned. And it looks pretty good. Aligned to my T-square. And my T-square is tight. Cool.
Mr. W,
Yes, sir.
I got a T-square, but it's like really short.
It's really short. Okay. Can you see how long mine is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're going to need. Okay.
All right.
That's what you're going to need eventually. All right. But we'll try to work through it. Okay. How short is yours?
12.
Let me see it. Yeah, I see it. Okay. So it's okay. Well, you're going to need a longer one. So
Yeah.
so let's try to take that vellum and put it all the way on the. Is your T-square at least?
I have it like on the edge of my table.
Yeah. You put it on the edge of your table. Yeah. So we're gonna try to work with it. Is your T-square at least? It's not 17 inches long, is it? It's not 17 inches long.
No, 12.
12. Okay, so it's only 12. Okay. So, okay. So you're going to be at a slight disadvantage for this evening. All right. Okay. All right. So now, what we're going to do next? Let's go back to now that we have our vellum attached to our board. Let's go back to D2L. So exit out of full screen. Okay. Share again. I'm gonna go back to here.
I'm not
All right,
gonna lie
so
to you, it's been a minute since I've had to tape down a paper, so it took me a minute.
no problem. No problem. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm all set now.
Okay, great. All right. So now let us go back to D2L. Let's look at the actual assignment. So let's go to D2L. Let's go to learning materials here. I'm gonna ask you to mute your backgrounds, please.
So like, I'm not really sure because everybody does see them, so yeah.
Okay, learning materials. Then I want us to go to weeks 1, 2, and 3 right here. Let's scroll down until we get to assignment number 1, line types and scales. Hello, I'm going to ask everybody to mute their backgrounds, please. Thank you. Okay, now, with every assignment, there's going to be a sample drawing that indicates how what the finished product should look like. So let's open up the sample drawing. Okay. This is how your final drawing should look. This is your title block that I'm going to give you the title block information as we proceed forward. Okay, we're going to do this line type exercise that deals with various line types and their weights and values, and the lead type used to draw them. Okay? The line type exercise will go in this position. Next, we're going to complete a scale exercise so that you can become familiar with all of the various architectural scales, okay, and how to use them. Okay. Then lastly, we're going to do this marble floor pattern. That's going to introduce you the circle template that you're going to need to draw these circles. And again, it's going to deal with line weights and types. Okay? This is going to be your first time to draw what I call a main title. Okay? And I do have a main title template that will instruct you as to how to draw it. Okay? But this is how your final product should look. Okay? So let's go back and go back over here. Good. So now let's go, let me see. All right, let's go back up. Now, the next PDF that I want you to open up is what I'm calling a drawing cartoon. Every drawing is going to have a drawing cartoon. And that's really is sort of an architectural buzzword that that tells you that a cartoon is how you lay out a drawing initially. You kind of use a cartoon and you kind of position the drawing and you put certain things in certain areas, right? And that's called a drawing cartoon before you actually start to do the assignment. Okay, so each drawing is going to have a drawing cartoon. So now let's look at the drawing cartoon for assignment number 1. Okay, good. So now, we know that our medium it measures to be right here. See this? 17 inches in length, right here. See this is dimension, right? You see this arrow head here? That's just telling you that from here to here, the length of that paper is 17 inches, and that's what yours is, okay? Good. So our medium is 17 inches in width, right? As denoted here, and as 11 inches in width as noted here, okay? Between these two arrowheads. So let's just talk about dimensioning for a second. This is your extension line in terms of parts of a dimension, your extension line that extends from the body being dimensioned, okay? And this is your dimension line, okay? And of course, this is your dimension, which is typically centered horizontally between the points of dimension, okay? And of course, they're bounded by these arrowheads, okay? So good. Extension line, dimension line, and dimension itself, right? These are reference dimensions. So you don't draw them, yeah? You don't draw them, all right? So now, let's look at our cartoon. The first thing that we're going to do, we're going to lay out the perimeter of our title block. See it right here? This is the perimeter of that title block that we're going to lay out with construction lines. With construction lines. Okay. Again, we have a dimension here. It's telling us from the edge of the paper right here to this first line of the title block is a 1/2 inch at full size scale. Okay, full size scale. So we'll lay out all of our dimensions. We'll lay out all our cartoons, that is, using full size scale. Okay, so let's go to the next. It's telling me from this vertical line of the title block to this vertical line is 1 inch. Okay, full size scale. And then from this line to this first line of the line type exercise is 1 inch. Okay? And that the line exercise is bounded by these two vertical lines being 2 inches apart. And then from here to here is the scale exercise area. And from this line to this line is 5 inches. And then lastly, we're going to draw our cartoon, our marble pattern centered within this area here. Okay. So any questions as to how you're reading the cartoon? Okay.
I
Don't.
do have one question now.
Yes.
So for these classes, right, all of our work that we do as classwork, if we don't ever finish those, will those be homework?
No. We're gonna do all of our work in class unless you fall behind.
Okay. I only asked because I don't have my official materials because I'm still waiting for the school to get
Sure,
this stuff.
sure,
I'm
sure.
with a little bit
Sure.
of stuff here.
Right, and that's why I'm recording it so that when you do get your equipment, you can quickly catch up with us. Okay.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
No problem. All right.
All right.
So we don't want to confuse the dimensions with the actual lines that you're going to be drawing. Okay, so the lines that you're going to be drawing is the perimeter of the title block. This line here, okay, this line here, and this line here. Okay, all these other lines here, what are they? Dimensions. Okay, good. So let's talk about top and bottom. So from the edge of the paper here to this horizontal line of the title block, that's a 1/2 inch. See that? 1/2 inch. Okay, that's a 1/2 inch from the bottom, from the edge of the paper here. Okay, edge of the paper here to this bottom horizontal line is also a 1/2 inch. Okay, and of course we see that these vertical lines that you're going to draw here, just these three, are going to terminate a 1/2 inch from the edge of the paper. So from here, this point here, 1/2 inch. Okay, cool. All right. So I will, let's see if, okay. Let's go back to our drafting board now. Any questions about the cartoon? Okay, no, well, okay, let's do this. Let's go to a new share. Let's go to, well, actually, let's do this. See, where do I want to be? I'll just stop sharing this, okay? And I'll go back to, I will go back to, I'll go back to here. I should have stayed there. Okay, so let's go to let's go back to learning materials again. Okay, weeks 1 and 2. Okay, let's go to where I want to be, right here. Let's go to the assignment number 1, instructions. Okay, let's go there. Okay. With each assignment, your material and equipment is going to be listed here, right? Right, telling you what materials and equipment that you will need to actually complete the assignment. Okay, good. And then we're going to start with our instructions. So I want you to make sure that you read the instructions, okay, for each assignment. So let's just do it together. Tape 11 inch by 17, tape 11 inch by 17 to the board, line up with the parallel bar. We did that. And then we're going to lay out the drawing cartoon per the attached sample that we just looked at, okay? Forget whiteboard instructions, okay? using your 0.7 millimeter mechanical pencil with 2H lead, right? Because we're going to be using construction lines, okay? What we're going to do initially is block out the perimeter of the title block using the dimensions that we just talked about and per the cartoon drawing, and divide the remaining drawing areas into areas as indicated using construction lines, okay? Again, construction lines are very light in weight and value. Therefore, you're going to use a very light pressure to the point of the pencil when drawing construction lines. Again, you should just be barely able to see these construction lines, okay? And usually the challenge initially is to make the construction lines light enough. If you make them light enough, you will never have to erase them because they will not reproduce when you would actually do your reproduction, okay? Okay. And then number one, we're gonna start with line type exercise, okay? Good. Okay, and then we're gonna use the architectural scale to do the scale exercise, and then we're gonna lay out the marble pattern, okay? Now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna lay out all three areas of this assignment with construction lines, okay? We're not gonna worry about doing our final lines until we've laid out all of the exercises using construction lines. I want to make that clear, okay? We're not adding any line types, any line weights until we have actually constructed all of the exercises using construction lines. And that's a good thing because we make mistakes. As we start to lay out, we make mistakes. So you don't want to have to erase final lines, right? It's much easier to correct construction lines than it is to correct final lines. So that's why we're gonna lay out everything with construction lines. Okay, so that's enough talking. So let me stop sharing here. Good. So everybody can see my board. Okay. So here's the first thing we're gonna do. Okay. Let's get your architect scale out. Okay. Now I'm here at the left corner of my vellum sheet, left corner, lower left corner, right here. Okay. I'm looking at my architect scale. I want to find the side that has 16 on the end. There we go. That looks better. 16. Okay. That's my full size scale side. Full size scale side. Okay. Good. And here's what I need now. I need my 0.7 millimeter pencil with 2H lead in it because I'm about to make these construction lines. Okay, good. You with me? All right. So now I'm going to start to make the first vertical line here of my title block. And that vertical line is a ½ of an inch away from the edge of the paper right here. Okay, good. So now when I look at my full size scale, if I can get it, I'm not used to having it this high. Let's see. It's too high. Good. So from 0 to right there is what is that? That's a ½ an inch. Good. So here's what I'm going to do. You probably can't see it, so let me see if I can lower this down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay. Good. So I'm placing my 0. I'm placing my 0 at the edge of the paper, right there. See that? See what I'm doing? Okay. Good. Then I'm measuring over ½ of an inch, right there, and I'm giving myself a reference dot. Can you see that? It's very light. Okay. I put the 0 at the edge of the paper, and then I measured over ½ an inch and established a reference dot. Now, all I need is one reference dot. Okay. So let me see if I can bring this up a little higher. Okay, let's just make it a little higher. Good. So now I just made a reference dot. You probably can't see it, but it's right there. Okay. Good. All right. So now I'm going to bring my T-square up. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring over my 30-60 triangle, okay? And I'm going to hold it tight against my T-square. I'm doing several things now. I'm holding the T-square tight against my drafting surface, and then I'm going to hold the triangle tight against my T-square, and I'm going to bring it over to that reference mark, half an inch. My T-square slide it over. Good. And then I'm going to reach over like this. This is the proper technique. I'm going to reach over like this, and I'm going to draw this. See that? See that line there? I know it's light there, but that's the way it should be. Okay. All right. Good. And draw it as long as you can in this direction. Okay. Okay. So go ahead and do that for me.
How high do we go?
I'll just take it. I'll take it all the way up. You may have to move your. Okay. Let me see if I can illustrate to you. I wish I had a bigger thing here. Okay. Good. Okay. Now you see where I ended it right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to slide my T-square up, and this might be in my way. But there we go. I think I can still do it. Yep. So I'm going to slide my T-square up. Okay. And I'm going to realign it like this. Okay. And I'm just going to take that line and I'm going to continue it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because it is a construction line. Okay, but we know eventually it's going to be half of an inch from this horizontal line that we're going to make here. It's also going to be half of an inch from the edge of the paper. Okay. That's the beauty of doing properly drafted construction lines. You don't have to worry about the exactness until you start to turn those into secondary lines, okay, or other primary lines. So let's go ahead and make that first vertical line, and then let me come down to the bottom here. Okay, so you can see that. I'm at the bottom now. So what I can do, I don't have to worry about it too much. I can come over here. It's probably long enough anyway, but it doesn't matter because it is a construction line. And if I keep it light enough, I don't have to deal with it. I can go past. So I'm just going to do this. Okay. Good. I just did that. Cool. All right. So let's deal with the horizontal lines now. Horizontal lines of the title block. Okay, good. I'm gonna move my T-square up here out of my way. Come over here to my full size scale again. Okay. From the edge of the paper here, okay, to this bottom horizontal line of the title block, it's also a half of an inch. So I'm gonna come over here. Now I'm gonna place my half an inch at the edge of the paper here, if you can see that. Edge of the paper here, and then I'm gonna place my reference mark at 0. There we go. Good. And we know we use the leading edge of the T-square to make horizontal lines, so I bring my T-square down. Okay. Then I don't have to worry about it too much because it's a construction line. I'm just going to. There we go. That's the bottom line there. Okay, that's the bottom line of that title block. Okay. Cool. Remember,
Mr. Wright, Mr. Williams, I have an important question.
yes.
May I be excused just for this class, and I'll finish it when I can, sometime this week before next Monday?
Sure, absolutely, because you don't have the equipment, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You have a good class, and I'll see you Monday, all right?
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay. So now we have this bottom line here, right? Good. So now what we want to do is establish the actual width of the title block, which is 1 inch. Okay. So we have this first line drawn. So now we need to draw another line over here, 1 inch away, vertical line that is. So I'll come over here. Full size scale again. Full size scale again. Okay. Now I'm placing my 0 at the line that I've already drawn, that vertical line. You see that right there. Good. Now I'm going to measure over 1 inch. There it is right there. I'm going to give myself a reference mark. Just one reference mark is all you need. Okay. And I'm going to bring my T-square, my triangle over to that reference point. Good. And then you can keep it everything tight. Everything's tight. Good. I'm gonna reach over like this, proper technique, and draw that line all the way up. There we go. So now I have the bottom of the title block. I have the width of the title block. So now I got to go up to the top and finish off the top of it. Okay, let's see if I can adjust this way so you can see it. There we go. I'm at the top now. Pardon me. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move my T-square out of the way for a second. Okay, come over here. From the edge of the paper to this horizontal line at the top of the title block is also 1/2 inch. So I'll put my 0 at the edge of the paper, measure over 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Get my little reference point. Bring up my T-square. Gotta stand back down. Bring up my T-square, keeping everything tight. Okay, tight. Good. So this is the top of my title block, and then I just need to extend this line here a little further. So bring my T-square up here. Get everything tight together. Let's get tight. I'm just trying to reach over like this and extend that line up like that. Cool. All right. So now, and I know I went past, but I don't care because it's a construction line. So I don't care. But I know from here to here should be 1/2 inch, and it is. From here to here should be 1 inch, and it is. Okay? And then it's the same situation at the bottom. Okay. Oh, let me turn my lamp on. There we go. Ooh, that looks like a little easier, maybe for you to see too. Okay, how we doing with that? I'll let you work on that, okay? For a moment. Just remember to use a light pressure to the point of the pencil so you can just barely see those, these construction lines. Okay, now, if you can follow the dimensions, by all means continue. Okay, so now, somebody tell me, because I don't have that cartoon drawn up. Okay, from this line to the next vertical line is what dimension? Somebody.
It's 1 inch.
Thank you so much. Okay, It's 1 inch. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm putting my 0 there. Okay, and I'm measuring over 1 inch right there. Giving myself a little reference dot. Good. Good. Holding everything together. Good. Reaching over. Let me just pull it down a little bit so you can see where I am. Yep, good. So I got my reference dot, bringing my triangle over, holding everything together tightly like this, reaching over. Okay, join that together. Good. Good. Then I need to finish it off at the bottom. So let me move this down. Good. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Get it back up here like. Then I'm not my paper. I don't like that. Okay. Let's get my erasers here. That's okay. That's where it fell. Okay. All right. Okay, all right, so here's where I was, okay? I just want to take this line here and bring it back down. Okay. So I'm going to extend it. So we're going to get everything together like this. And this will bring it down. I don't care because it's a construction line. Good. I just put it down. Okay. All right. So I have this vertical line. So now we know that the next vertical line let's see if we can get a little bit straighter. Yeah, that's where I want it to be. Good. Good. So from this vertical line that I drew here, which is the first line of the line type exercise, the next vertical line in this direction is 2 inches away, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm placing my 0 here at this line here. Good. Then I'm measuring over 2 inches. Give myself a reference stop. Okay. Good. See that? Good. Reaching over like here, proper technique like this. Okay. And then good. There's that line 2 inches away. Okay. Let's see if I can get to the top of it so you can see it. Yeah, you can see that. Straighten it up a little bit. Okay, come over here. Keep everything tight again. I just want to continue this line up. Good. There it is. Okay, so here's what I have. Okay. Edge of the paper to the first line of the vertical line of the title block, 1/2 of an inch. And then from here to here, an inch. Here to here, an inch. From here to there, 2 inches. All right, I'll give you a chance to work on that, and we'll be almost done with the cartoon.
Mr. William,
Yes, sir.
on the first bar to the left, it's the width is 1/2 an inch, right?
Okay, so are we talking about here?
Yes, the first one. The first one.
Yes, so from the edge of the paper,
Half an inch off the paper.
yeah, to that line there's 1/2 of an inch, correct?
Yeah, I got that.
And then from here, from this line to this line is 1 inch.
Yeah. Oh, 1 inch.
1 inch, which
All
is,
right, thank you.
okay, look at the cartoon.
Yeah,
Look at the cartoon.
thank you.
Okay. Okay, of course, by all means, if you can continue with these dimensions, just go ahead, because we actually only have one more line to vertical line to draw. So somebody tell me what is the dimension from this line that we just drew to the last line over here? What is that dimension?
Should be 5 inches.
5 inches. Okay, cool. All right. So let's go ahead and draw that one in there. I'm sure some of you have already done it, so it's a problem. Okay, so I'm putting my 0 here, my full size scale at this line here, that I just, the last line of this drew. I'm measuring over 5 inches, which puts me right there. Okay, good. Then I'm going to just draw this. You can see it here. Moving everything tight again. Good. There it is. Come down to the bottom, finish it off at the. Okay. So that concludes the drawing of the cartoon, actually. Okay. Okay, so now here's what we're going to do next. Okay. Let me stop sharing here for 1 second. Can I do that here? Okay, I'm gonna go back to D2L. And you probably can't see my screen, so let me go back here. Now I can share my screen with you. Okay, cool. So now, here's what we're gonna do next. Let's see, can we go down here or we need to go back? Kelly, we need to go back low. So let's go back over here. Cool. Oh, really? Okay, that's fine. Let's go back to learning materials then. Weeks 1 and 2. All right, so let's open up now the line types PDF right here. Let's open this up. Good. And what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to ask you to print this. Okay. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm just going to download it so I can print it because I don't see my print. Okay, so I'm just going to download it here. Open it up. And then I can print it here. Okay. I want you to print it on an 11 by 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Okay, I've printed it. Here it is right here. Cool. All righty. Okay. Good. Now, here's what we're about to do. Okay. We know from here to here is the area for these line types. Okay. Now, this is important. What we're going to do, we're not going to show these line widths right now. Neither are we going to show the line types. We're going to show you everything. Now we're going to look at all these lines initially with just continuous construction lines bounded by this 2-inch dimension from here to here. Okay. Please do not draw any line types. Okay. All we're going to be doing is drawing continuous. We're going to lay it out first. Okay, with construction, just continuous, ignoring the line types, just making continuous line types. Okay, cool. Now, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to measure. We're going to use our architect scale. Okay, good. Okay, full size scale. Now, I'm going to scale. That's why I want you to print it out full size. Okay. I'm going to scale the dimension. Okay, if I turn it up like that, you can see it. Okay, good. I'm going to scale the dimension. I'm placing my 0 of my full size scale here, and when I scale that dimension, it's going to be 1/2 inch. Okay. So from the edge of the paper to this first border line that I'm going to draw as a construction line, it's going to be 1/2 inch. So that's what I'm going to do. So now that I have that dimension, I'm going to go over here And I'm going to go, put my 0 at the edge of the paper, and I'm going to measure 1/2 inch. Okay, there it is right there. Okay, bring my T-square up. Okay. Bring my T-square up, 1/2 inch. And I'm gonna, you may not be able, yeah, you can see it. I'm gonna draw it from the first vertical line. Okay, and let it in at the second vertical line, 2 inches away. Good. That's the borderline, right? That's the borderline, but I'm just drawing it as a continuous construction line. Okay, good. So now here's how we're going to proceed. Same thing. We're going to scale and then transfer the dimension from this, pardon me, let's see it, from this drawing to our development sheet. Okay, so now if I scale the distance between the borderline from the borderline to the object line, I scale that dimension. That's 3/4 inch. Okay, 3/4 inch. So I come over here, transfer that. 1, 2, 3. 3/4 inch. Good. All right. And this is going to be my object line drawn at 3/4 inch away. All right. All right. There we go. So that's my object line here, right? I just do that. Okay. All right. 3/4 inch away from my borderline. So you see, I'm using this drawing as a template, and I'm scaling it and then transferring those dimensions to my vellum. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Okay, if I scale the distance from the object line to this first hidden line here, okay, scales to be 3/4 inch also. All right, so I'm gonna come over here. 0 there, 1, 2, 3/4. Cool. Reference mark. Bring my T-square up. There it is. Okay, good. So you see what's happening, right? So,
How low is that line? I'm sorry, I missed it.
pardon me?
How low is that recent line we just made?
Tell me, what's the distance between this vertical line and that vertical line?
2.
Distance.
2 inches.
Between this vertical line here, this vertical line, what's that distance?
2 inches, right? 2 inches, right?
Absolutely. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Oh, okay. 2 inches. Okay.
You got it now? Yeah. We laid out the cartoon, right? This is the area for the line type exercise. All of these lines, all these lines are 2 inches. Bounded by this vertical line and that vertical line, right? Cool. Right. So let's go to the next one. Okay. So now I'm going to scale the distance between this and that hidden line. Okay. When I scale that distance, guess what that is? 1/8 inch. Cool. See that? And then from this one to that one, it's also 1/8 inch. I have 3 of them. So and the space between here is 1/8 inch. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's my first one. All right. So now I might as well give myself 2 reference marks. Okay. Okay. Come down here, 1/8 inch. Good. Okay. Come down here, another 1/8 inch. Good. All right. So now I have 2 reference marks, and note that I'm not drawing the drawing. I'm not showing the drawing at this time. I'm just drawing it as continuous construction line. All right, so I come over here, and that's my first one, and then there's my second one also. Got it? All right, so let's see if you can continue. Okay, I'm probably gonna, well, we can do it together. I guess we can do it together. Okay. But if you can continue, just continue. Okay, so this is my last one here that I just drew. So from this one to this one, last one I just drew, to the next one I need to draw, is also 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so I'll do the transfer again. 1, 2, 3/4 of an inch. Oh, that's right, I can't see it myself. Okay. 1, 2, 3/4 of an inch. Yep, there it is. Good. All right. And then I need two hidden lines and 1/8 of an inch apart, so I might as well do both of them right now. Cool. Up. Okay. First one, second one. I don't like that first one there. So I'm getting my erasing shield out. Get my erasing shield out, and I'm going to erase this second one. I don't like the way I spaced it out. Good. And I'm going to use my brush, not my hand. Okay. And I'm going to rescale that reference mark so I can get it looking better. 1/8 of an inch.
Mr. Williams, a question?
Yes,
So you said these are only continuous lines for the moment.
correct. For the moment, we're making them all continuous lines.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, that looks better. I like that better. Cool. As you see by my example, I'm just showing continuous construction lines. I'm not showing any line types at all. And I'm scaling, what I call scaling, and then transferring. Scaling, then transferring. Scaling and transferring. Okay? If you scale it and it's a little bit off, right, from your previous dimensions, okay, just make it even, right? Because we see what's happening here. From this line to this line was 3/4, and this line was 3/4, then an eighth and an eighth, then from here to here was 3/4, and then an eighth and an eighth. Okay, let's do the secondary line. Let's do this one. Okay, let me scale that distance. What is that? Guess what that is? Also 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to measure here, a 0 there. 1, 2, 3/4 of an inch. There's my reference mark. I think it's right there. Yeah, there it is. That's my reference mark. Okay. To which long line? There we go. All right, looking good. Okay, so then now I'm going to scale the distance from my secondary line here that I just made to this center line there. Let's see what that is. See if that's also 3/4. Yes, it is. So that's also 3/4. I'm going to come over here. That is 1, 2, 3. Cool. Cool. We'll see my construction lines are getting better and better. All right, so now which one of these? I just did, okay. Secondary line, center line, and then from the center line here to this dimension line here, let's scale that distance. What is that? Also 3/4 of an inch. That's my reference line. Cool. Okay, so now I'm about to make a change here, okay? Now, from, I'm gonna do it so we can do it together. From now, my center line, okay, if you can see it here, okay, I'll turn this way. So now from my center line, I just went from my center line to my dimension line. And now, however, from my dimension line here, right here, dimension line, so that right here, to this, that's a different dimension. So I'm gonna scale and see what it's gonna do. Oh, it's an 1.25 inches. So I'm just gonna write it right here, just like this. Okay. See that? Okay, good. That's 1.25 inches. See that dimension right there? Good. All right. So let me go ahead and do that. So from this dimension line to this break line here is 1.25 inches, 1/4. Right? So up a 0 here, measure 1 inch and then 1/4. There we go. So to reiterate that so you can see it again, from the dimension line here to the break line here, 1.25 inches. Okay, so now I'm going to go from this break line to this first line here of the guidelines here for this text. Okay, I'm going to go from the break line to the top of the one right here. Okay, which is the guideline. Yeah, I'm going to measure that. Guess what it is? 3/4 inch. Okay, so from my break line, let me just mark it here. Okay, so you can see it. Okay, good. A little sketchy. Those are my arrowheads. Okay, what did I say that was? I said it was 3/4 inch. And I'm comparing now so you can see. Yeah, that reads a little better. Okay, good. All right. So I said that was 3/4 inch. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. There we go. Good. Now, this text here, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and these fractions, they are 1/4 inch in height. 1/4 inch in height. Okay. So here's my first guideline, and really see the guideline is there, but because it's light enough, you can't see it. That's the way it needs to be. All right. But the height of this text here. Okay, I put it right in here. Is 1/4 inch. Okay, height of that text is 1/4 inch. All right. So from the last line that I just drew, I want to measure down 1/4 inch, full size scale. Can you see that? No, I got to pull this down. Yep, now you can see it. Okay. So I want to measure down 1/4 inch. All right. Okay. So that's the guideline. Those are the guidelines for this text right in here. Good. Cool.
Mr. William.
Yes?
So for the ones that have like two, the one like hidden line, for example, has two different like definitions of hidden line. You doing both on the bar?
Say it again. I don't understand the question.
Oh, like hidden line has two of them. Do you put like all 6 lines in between the bar?
We're talking about the hidden lines?
That's where I'm at. Yeah.
Okay,
Like-
that's fine. Okay, let's go back. Okay?
I just like look up a little bit so I can see and I understand. Basically, yeah. So we do that one too, right?
Yes, sir. Are you saying we're doing, I'm trying to understand the question now. You said all these lines here as continuous construction lines, all of these.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what's the question?
I'm at the first hidden line. I did that one. Now I'm at the second hidden line. I'm asking if I do that one too on the bar or on the paper.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Let's get on the same page. Okay. So now you have the borderline, right? You have that, right?
Yep.
You have the algebra line, right?
Yeah.
And then you have this first hidden line.
Yep.
And then you have this one.
Yep. All 3 of them.
Okay. And then so now you drop down 3/4 of an inch. Draw this one.
I'm there now.
Okay. And then 1/8. You draw that one.
Yep.
And then
All
1/8 you draw that one. Okay. And you draw them as continuous construction lines, just like I've showed you.
Yep.
Right?
I got that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay. Okie dokie. Now let's see where we are now. Let's go back over here. All right. So if you can see these 2 guidelines here are the guidelines here in 1/4 inch apart for this text here. Okay. Now over in this area here, you have some construction lines that you really can't see, right? But they're right in here, right in here. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to establish those. Okay. So from the bottom of the one or the bottom of the guideline here, okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to measure 3/4 of an inch. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And that's going to be the location of our first construction line that we can't see. Okay. Good. So now if I was to bring this dimension line, extension line up here, okay, and then I bound that by my arrowhead, okay, that dimension would be 3/4 of an inch. All right. And then the construction line itself, okay, the distance between the 2 construction lines is going to be 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so I'm just going to sketch this in just like that. See that? Okay, good. And I'm saying that this distance here, which I'm going to write out here like this, is 1/8 of an inch. If you can read that. Oh, 1/8 of an inch, all right? So I'm gonna come over here. What did I say it was? Okay, so from the bottom of this construction line here, I'm going to measure down 3/4 of an inch. 1, 2, 3/4. Okay. Then I'm going to draw that first construction line. Good. And then this next construction line here, that one is 1/8 of an, oops. Here is 1/8 of an inch, away, right there. Okay, so I'm going over here. That's my first one. I'm going to measure now 1/8 of an inch. Okay, and that's that construction line. Wonderful. I don't like the dimension that I drew, so let me erase that out there and do that again. I just use my erasing shield to help me. I made it. I wasn't right on with my brush. Okay, let's make that dimension more 1/8 of an inch. That looks better. Okay, good. All right. So now I just drew these two construction lines right there. See that? So again, from here, the first construction line, 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and then the thickness of the construction line is 1/8 of an inch. Good. So now, what I want to do, I want to scale the distance from this last construction line that I just drew to this line right here, to this leader line, this is the horizontal part. Okay, I'm just going to scale that distance. Guess what that is? Another 3/4 of an inch. All right. So I'm going to come over here. That's the last line. I'll measure down 1, 2, 3/4. Good. And I'm just going to draw it. I'm not going to show the angle. I'm not going to show the angle here. I'm just going to draw this line right here as a continuous line. 3/4 of an inch away. There we go. Good. Right? I'm not showing the angle part. I'm drawing the horizontal part. Okay. Good. All right. And then now I can scale the distance between this horizontal line and that horizontal line. And guess what that's going to be? 1/4 of an inch. Good. All right, so now I'm coming down here, 1/4 of an inch. Here. All right. So now I'm just going to go over here and just add that dimension. I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to draw an extension line up here like this. And dimension line like that. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to write this dimension over here like this. That was 3/4 of an inch. Okay. And then I'm going to draw the dimension between this line and that line. I'm just going to draw it over here like this. And we made that 1/4 of an inch. Okay. And I'm going to leave it just like that. See if you can follow it. And I'll let you work on that for a little. Any questions? Okay.
Is there any lines after the, what is it called, leader line?
No, sir.
Okay,
Nope.
so after that bottom arrow that points upward, there's no lines after that?
No lines after that.
Okay, thank you.
You would have finished laying out the cartoon for the line type exercise.
Mr. Williams, I'm not sure if you realize, but your mic is muted.
Okay, let's try that again. Okay, my mic was muted because I walked away for a second. So I'm back at D2L, and I want you to print the scale exercise PDF as well as the marble floor pattern PDF, okay? Might as well print those two out because we're gonna work on the scale exercise next, and then after that, the marble floor pattern. So let's go ahead and print those out.
Mr. Williams, for the lines, I finished it. I'm like at the very edge of my paper. Is that supposed to happen?
No, so that means that you made a mistake somewhere.
Oh, no.
Okay, so let me finish this and then we can look at it together, okay?
All right.
Okay, cool. So let me go ahead and print this out. So please print out the scale exercise and the marble floor pattern. And then I downloaded it before. Open it up. Printed it out. Okay. Let's close out of this. Okay. Go back over here. Download this one. Open it up. Okay. So I printed both of those out. Okay, who was I talking to previously concerning the possible error on your drawing? Who was talking?
Xavier.
I see you. I got you. All right, Xavier. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, let me share my. Stop sharing here. All right. So here we are. Okay, Xavier. Let's look at your drawing. Okay. All right. Now, from the edge of the paper to here should be half of an inch. Edge of the paper to the borderline. Inch. Oh, hold on, Xavier. Let me get the other students started with exercise, with the skill exercise, and then I get back with you. Okay?
That's cool.
Let me do that. Okay. All righty. So here I printed the, let me see if I can get a little higher. Good. I've printed the scale exercise, okay? Now, we're not going to scale it like we did it before, okay? Okay. Let me slide this over. I think I'm gonna go in this direction. Yeah. Okay, good. Then let me straighten it up a little bit like this. Cool. All right. So now we just finished laying out the line type exercise with construction lines. Now we're going to work on the scale drawing. Now let me see if I can pull this back just a little bit more. Good. So now you can see the edge of my paper. All right. So the scale exercise is going to start at this line right here. See this line right here? Right? So it's going to start. And then you're going to draw the lines in this direction. Okay? Okay? Starting here. Then you're going to draw the lines in this direction. Okay? Now, I don't want you to scale. I do not want you to scale. So here's what's going to happen. Okay? From the edge of the paper here to this first line right here, is going to be 1.5 inches. Okay, all right. So I'm putting my 0 here, okay, and then I'm measuring 1.5 inches. 0 here, 1.5 inches, and here's my reference mark right here. Oops, wrong pencil, put that over there. All right. Then 1.5 inches takes me right here. So we must get my T-square up. Draw a line. I'm not concerned about the length of the line because we're going to change that when we do the actual final secondary line. So right now, I'm not concerned about the length of the line. Now, after you draw this first line, 1.5 inches on the edge of the paper, right? Edge of the paper, here, 1.5 inches. Then all these other lines here are going to be 1 inch apart, inch apart, inch apart, inch apart, inch apart. Okay? From here to here, again, 1.5 inches. From here to here, 1 inch. From here to here, 1 inch. From here to 1 inch. Okay, until you finish up at the last line down there. Okay, so that's easy. You can do that. Okay. To reiterate one more time, from the edge of the paper to this first line, 1.5 inches, and then all those other lines here that follow it, it's going to be 1 inch apart. You can do that. Okay, Xavier, now we're back to you, sir.
All right.
Okay. So let's check it out and see. All right, use a full size scale from here to here, 1/2 inch. So why don't you go ahead and verify that?
Half.
Oh, 1/2 inch, you got it?
No, it's it don't look like a half. I
Okay,
don't think it's a half.
okay. Now let's look at the full size scale then. Okay. See the full size scale?
Yeah, I'm on the side.
Okay, so now from 0 to there is 1/2 inch. Right? So go ahead and scale that to see if that's 1/2 inch.
Can you show me 1/2 inch in the ruler again so I'm getting it right?
Okay, all right. Can you see the scale?
Yep.
Okay. So starting at 0,
Yep.
1/4, 2/4, 1/2 inch right here.
So 2/4 is 1/2 inch.
Absolutely.
That was wrong. It's at 3/4. So it's,
So that's the problem.
oh man, of course at the top too. So I gotta restart the whole thing.
See, but this is why we lay things out with construction lines, because we make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
You're going to go ahead and start there, and then now let's look at that. Okay, once you make that correction, then okay, from there should be 1/2 inch, right? And then from there to there should be 3/4, right? And then from there to there should be 3/4, and then 1/8, 1/8, 3/4, 1/8, 1/8, 3/4, 3/4.
3/4. 3/4 is 3-4.
Pardon me?
When you say 3/4, that's 3-4, right?
When I say 3/4, I'm talking about 3/4 inch.
Yeah. So like you write it down, it's 3-4.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You asking me when you write it as a fraction, right?
Oh, as a fraction. I didn't mean to say dash.
As a fraction, right? So 3/4 inch as a fraction.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it goes 3/4, and then the hidden lines are 1/8 each, and then 3/4 again to the other hidden line, that right so far?
Yeah. Mhm.
And then from the hidden line to secondary line, that's another 3/4.
Correct.
And then secondary to center that's another 3/4.
Correct.
And then for the dimension line, that's 1 1/4.
Correct.
All right, so that's
I'm
that
gonna,
shift.
I'm gonna leave it right here for you to look at it, to see if you can.
Oh yeah, I wrote that down. I got that. Thank you.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's go back, go ahead and make the correction, all right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's unfortunate that you made it at the very beginning, so.
Yeah. More practice.
Okay, there we go. But again, to reiterate, that's why we use construction lines, for things just like that. That's why we lay everything out with construction line first, and then we go back, once we know that it's correct, then we go back and we start to do our final line work. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, who is? Yes, yes, we are going to work on the marble floor pattern next, okay? Now, who has not finished, with the scale exercise? Not finished. Yep, well, no, it's fairly easy because, and you guys are becoming experts now, but using the full size scale. All right. All right. So now, here's what we're going to do. Okay. All right. Now we're going to see what can I do. All right, I'll just hold up this one. All right. So now here's what we're going to do. We're going to create this marble floor pattern, right here. We're going to create it in this remaining area right here. Now, but we're going to use a different scale, okay? Up until this point, we've used the full size scale, okay? Okay, but, okay, let's take it a step at a time, okay, good. Now, we'll talk about that in a few minutes, okay? Now, in this, I need you, okay, good, to find the center of this area right here, the center. That means from this line to the edge of the paper, I need you to divide that distance in half with a vertical line. Okay? And then from the bottom edge here, okay, to the top edge here, I want you to draw a horizontal line. Okay, horizontal line. And that's going to the intersection of this horizontal line that you're going to draw and the vertical line that you're going to draw there. That's going to be the center of this area here. So I want you to go ahead and find the center of that, see if you can do it. Okay, I'm looking for a center point right here. That's what I'm looking for.
The center point's a horizontal line, right?
It's going to be a horizontal line and a vertical line.
And a vertical. All right, thank you.
At the intersection is going to be the center.
All right.
Mr. Williams, are we drawing these center lines of the marble floor all the way to the border of the paper, or are we stopping at the half-inch margin too?
No, no, we're not doing that. Okay, here's what we're doing, okay?
Okay,
Here's how you have to start, okay?
right.
Okay, you need to locate the center point right here. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. This is where we're gonna start. And then we're gonna transition to another scale. After we locate the center point using the full size scale. So you gotta do a little scaling and a little math, that's all. Of course, we're finding this center point using the full size scale. Center between this line and the edge of the paper horizontally, and then from the top of the paper to the bottom of the paper vertically, creating that point of intersection right there.
Mr. Williams.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I had to step away for a second. So the next directions were to find the center point for the marble floor, correct?
Yeah, no, yes and no, okay?
Okay.
What we're finding is the center point of this remaining area here,
Oh, right. Okay. So
okay?
just the center point, and then.
And then I'm gonna give you some instructions.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, who has not found the center of the remaining drawing area? Not,
I am doing it right this second.
okay. Okay, okay. So now that we've found the center point of this remaining area using a full-size scale, let's look at the instructions for the marble floor pattern, okay? Here we go. It says, using the scale, 1 inch equals a foot. Okay, so let's look at that. Okay, so up until this point, we've only used one side of this architect scale, and that is the full size. So I want you to find this, get your architectural scale out, and I want you to find the side that has the 1 inch on it, like this, 1 inch. Okay, and that's going to be the 1 inch equals the full size scale. Okay. All right. So now let's look at how we're going to read the scale. Okay. Good. Starting from 0 to here, of course, that's 1 foot, then 2 feet, and then 3 feet, okay? Now, with this particular triangular scale, there are 2 scales on one side. So you got to be cognizant of the side in which you're starting from. So to read it correctly, using the 1 inch scale, make sure that we start at the 0 here. And then we go in this direction, that's 1 foot again. To reiterate, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, so on. Now, if I go toward the opposite end here, okay, if I go toward the opposite end here, there is the 1/2 inch scale, all right? But we're not using the 1/2 inch portion. We are using the 1 inch. The 1 inch, okay, cool. So now we know where we're starting. Good. Now, what this particular scale does, from 0 to the right of 0, it takes 1 foot and divides it into inches. We know that there are 12 inches to a foot. Okay, so starting at 0, going to the left from 0 to there, that's 3 inches. That's 6 inches, 9 inches, and then we end at 12 inches. So we see that this mark here represents 1 inch, right? 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12 inches to a foot. Okay, so what that allows me to do, it allows me to draw the dimension. That's 1 foot, 3 inches, 2 feet, 9 inches, right? 3 feet, 6 inches. You got it? Any questions about that? Cool. Now, I asked you to find the center of this area here, the center point right here, because that center point, if I could, that center point represents the center of this marble pattern right here. So I'm just going to circle it, okay? Okay, that's what that represents, okay? We're gonna start the center of the marble pattern here at the center point right here, cool? Now, let's continue to read the instructions. It says, using the 1 inch to the foot scale, draw 18 inch squares, okay? So that means each of these squares here make sure you can, each of these squares here, they represent 18 inches or 1'6", okay? 1'6" at 1 inch scale, okay? Good, good. Then it says, draw the 18 inch squares and 8 inch borders, okay? So now we see, I'm calling this the field, the squares, the field, okay? And then we have a border here and a border here, okay? This side is open, see it's open, and this bottom and this side is open. That's just telling us that this pattern is continuing and we're only showing a portion of it, okay? So your drawing should look exactly like this, okay? There's not a border around here. It's not a border, it's open. The only border we have, the only 8 inch border we have is this border here, that border there. Again, this is the border, this is the field. All right. Draw horizontal and vertical center lines in the squares that will locate the 12 inch circles and the small squares. Erase the center lines within the circles and draw squares and darken the center lines between the same, okay, figures as indicated. So we're going to do that kind of together. But here's how we're going to get started. Okay? Again, this center line here, okay, represents this center line right here. Now, from each square is 18 inches, okay? So if I'm starting here, okay, half of 18 inches is 9 inches. Okay? So I want to go from here and I want to start there and then I want to draw this vertical line. So if here, from here is 18 inches, then from here to that vertical line is 9 inches. So here's what I'm going to do. Okay, starting there. Now I'm going to my 1 inch. Okay, my 1 inch. If you can see that, there it is right there. Okay. I'm going to put 9 inches at this vertical line right here. See that? 9 inches. If you could do 9 inches. Good. All right. And then I'm going to draw. I'm going to place a reference point at 0. Okay, cool. All right. So now I'm going to draw a vertical line. I'm not going to worry about the height of it now. Okay, good. All right. So now I've drawn from the center point here. I've drawn this first vertical line here. Then this is away. Okay. Now from each square is 18 inches. So from here to there, it's 1'6", 18 inches. From here, I just do this line and then draw this line 1'6" away. Okay. So now come over here. My 1 inch scale, I'm putting my 6 inches right there at that line that I just drew, and then 1'6". Okay, 1'6", good. I'll be beginning it. Okay. Okay.
You go. You put the 6 on the vertical line, and you go to what number? To the left.
Remember, each square is 1 foot 18 inches or 1'6".
So you go to the 1.
Okay, yep. I'll do that again. Okay, so I'm putting my 6 at the last line that I drew, right?
Yep, the vertical.
Yeah, the vertical line, and then I'm going to
the 1.
Yeah, I need going to the 1 because I need 1'6".
All right, thank you.
Yep. All right, so now 1'6" there. Good. I'm just going to draw another vertical line. All right. So since we're dealing with the horizontal lines now, let's continue to deal with the horizontal lines. Okay. So now we see that, okay, I just made this line here, 18 inches from that line, okay? The border from here to here is 8 inches, see that? 8 inches. So I need to draw this line here, 8 inches from the last line that I just drew. All right, so I'll go back to my 1 inch scale. and I find 8 inches. Okay, here's 6 inches. Here's 7, 8 inches. I put that 8 inches on that line, and then I put my reference mark at 0. Okay, at 0. Okay.
And we're drawing the outer border line right now.
Right, we're drawing we're drawing this 8 inch border right here. So we're drawing. Okay, I'll give you a chance to work on that. Drawing this vertical line, 18 inches away, we've drawn this vertical line, and then 8 inches away, we've drawn this one. Okay, so let's go in this direction. Again, from here to here is 18, okay? So we want to go so that means from here to there's half of that, 9 inches. So now we're going to go in this direction. We're going to measure over 9 inches and draw that vertical line. So we're just dealing with the vertical lines right now. Okay, so I'm putting a scale at 0 here at that line right there. Then we'll measure over 9 inches. Okay, so we're going to measure over 9 inches. 9 inches gives me right there. Okay, cool. Okay. I'm not worried about the left of it right now. Good. All right, so I've just drawn. I just drawn that line. I just drew that line right there. Okay. So now from here to here, still dealing with vertical lines, here's another 18 inches or 1'6". So from here to there, 1'6". So now from this line here, I want to measure. I know it can be a little confusing, but we got it. So from here to here is 1'6". Okay, or 18 inches. Okay, cool. When we start to draw the horizontal lines, it's going to become less confusing. Okay, good. Good. Okay. All righty. Now we can work on the horizontal lines. Okay. Again, we're going to start from this center point here, and we're going to measure down 18 inches because again, each square is 18 inches. I'm going to measure down from here to there, 18 inches. Okay, from here to here, 18 inches, and then from there to there, 18 inches. Okay, it's going to start to give this pattern some definition. All right, so from this line here, okay, I'm going to go 1'6". So I'm going to put my 6 here. Make sure it looks pretty good. 1'6", and I'm going to draw. Okay, give myself a reference point. Where's that 1'6"? It's right here. Okay, good. You see it's starting to give it some definition. All right, so I just drew that line there, where it's now I'm going to go 1'6" from that line to that line there. And that's going to be the last square going downward. Okay, 1'6". Okay, cool. All righty. There we go. Okay, starting to give it some definition. Okay, good. So now we're going to go up in this direction. Okay, again, so from here to here, 1'6". From here to here, 1'6", and then lastly 8 inches to there. Okay, so let's go up in the other direction. So I'm gonna put my one here, 1'6". Okay, Stand up so I can see it better. There we go. 1 foot 6. Okay. Cool. All right. And then we're going to go another 1 foot 6. Run one here now, one there, and then my 6 inches right there. Okay. Stick this. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Now all I got to do is go 8 inches now, right there from here to there. 8 inches to create this 8-inch border at the top. Okay, so I'm gonna find my 8 inches. I'll put my 0 here. There's 6 inches, 7, 8 inches is right. Cool. Stop. Okay. There we go. There we go. Then I can extend this line here so it meets at the corner. There we go. So that's the corner. That's the corner of my border. See, this is my 8-inch border. Horizontally, 8-inch border vertically. Cool. And then I have all the squares that I need. So I need 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3 squares. Right? Good. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. So I have all the squares. I have all the squares and the border. Cool. All right. So I'll let you work on that. See, what time is it getting to be? It is 7:41. Okay. Again, okay, this is the way it should look. 1, 2, 3 squares at 18 inches horizontally, just 3, okay? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 squares vertically, each being 18 inches as well. Okay. And then of course, the 8-inch borders. Okay. How many people have the squares and the border complete? A better question. How many people do not have the squares and the borders complete?
Me.
Okay. How close are you?
Border. That's it.
Okay, you're working on the border? Okay, cool. All right. Going to do 7:46. I'm going to show you the last thing that we're going to do for this evening. And then what is this? This is at Monday's class, we'll start to put in some final line work, okay? But let's and we'll finish up the marble pattern. Finish up the marble pattern, and then go to the line type exercise and start to finalize it. Okay, cool. All right. So the last thing that you need to do, okay, we're gonna do it together this evening. We're gonna take these squares here, and we're gonna divide them into 4 equal parts, because that's gonna help us place these diamonds and these circles correctly, okay? All right, so speaking of circles, next class, you're definitely going to need the circle template like this. You're gonna need it. And I think the circle that we're going to be using is it's the 1 inch. It's no greater than 1 inch diameter. Okay, 7/8 right here. Okay, so if you have this size here, that'd be perfect. All right. Okay. Using anything larger than. Okay. Okay. So now here's what we're going to do now. So now we're going to take all of these squares, and this part gets a little bit confusing, but just be aware of what you're doing. Okay. This square, these series of squares here is already divided vertically. So I'm just going to extend this. I'm just going to extend this line here up. Extend this line here down. Yeah. And then I'm going to divide.
Turn it down.
I need people to mute their background, please. Okay. So now, okay, so I've divided these series of squares into 2 equal parts, okay, horizontally. So I'm vertically, so I'm going to work on the horizontals, okay. So from here to here is what? 18, half of 18 is 9. So over here, okay. Okay, 0 here. Try to get it good. Okay, 9 inches. Okay. So I'm going to divide that. Okay, thank you very much. Cool. All right. Keep going up horizontally. Okay. 9 inches. Oh, looks out my way, but it's bothering me. Oops, wrong scale. Wrong scale, other people. I was wondering what was going on there. Here we go. There we go. And 9 inches puts me right there. You keep going up. 9 inches puts me right there. 9 inches puts me right here. Okay. So now I can start to make all of those horizontal lines. Let me stand up so I can see better. Okay. 9 inches right there. Bring it all the way across, I don't care. 9 inches right there. Okay, 9 inches right there. Okay, all right, so now I just need to take and go horizontal here and horizontal there and divide those into squares into 4 equal quadrants. Okay. Put my 9 right there. Put my 9 right there. Okay, good. I know it gets a little confusing. So we have all these little lines going on. Okay, so that's 9 inches, good. Okay. Okay. Good. All righty, and I'm just going to erase some of these lines so I can make a distinction between my squares and my border. Okay. And I'm just going to extend this line here up so that it touches at the top here. And the key is getting in here and right and make sure that you get it in line as close as you can. Yeah. Whew. All right. Oh, this line here is really crooked because my T-square was crooked. So let me correct that. That's the problem with that. You got to keep that T-square tight against the surface or the lines like I just had. Okay, so make sure that T-square is straight. Okay. Get that line back in there. There we go, much better. All right, I know it's kind of confusing, but not really. Okay, so square, 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 divided into 4 parts. Okay, square, 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 square. Whoops, divide. Look at that line there. Also crooked because my T-square was off. So let me correct that as well. Got to keep that T-square tight. The lines are not going to be straight. Okay. Tight, nice and tight. Much better. Okay, so now I've divided all the squares into 4 equal parts, and that's going to help us place those diamonds, and it's going to help us place those circles using the circle template. All right. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? No questions? Good. All right, that's all we're going to do for this evening. Again, to reiterate, when we come back on next Monday, we're going to put in our diamonds and we're going to put in our circles using a circle template, and then we're going to move to the line type exercise and start to put in our final line types and weights. Okay? Excellent. So with that, I'm going to say good evening, and you guys have a good weekend. If you continue to work, that's fine. That's fine. But for the rest of you, have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Okay?
Thanks, Mr. Williams. Bye.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
You're
sir.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.